there, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be comparing two Alterna mousses, and you might recognize this one if you've watched some of my other videos. It happens to be one of my favorite mousses ever. It's a really great mousse, gives me a lot of volume, makes my hair feel really soft. It is the Caviar Anti-Aging Restructuring Bond Repair Leave-In Treatment Mousse. It's a mouthful. It's a great mousse. So I'm going to be comparing this mousse side by side with one of the other mousses from the Alterna Caviar line, and this is their Multiplying Volume Styling Mousse. So I'm going to be putting this mousse on this side and this mousse on this side, and then as per usual I will show you the results of what they look like, and I will show you my day 2 and day 3 results with no refreshing so that you can see exactly how these products hold up with no interference from me. And if you're new here, my name is Michelle. I'm a licensed hairstylist with over 20 years of experience, and on this channel I use that experience to help you have healthy, happy hair. So let's go ahead and get into the product bag. I've already shampooed my hair and I used the Verb Ghost shampoo, and to condition I used the Ouidad Curl Quencher Moisturizing Conditioner. And then for my leave-in, I'm going to be using the Curlsmith Multitasking Conditioner. I'm going to start with about that much. And I'm going to grab another little blob and put it on the other side. Now I'm just going to quick brush that through to evenly distribute. When I did my review of the Bond Repair Mousse, I used the Luxe Cream Gel prior to it, and then I used the mousse following it. I'm going to do the same thing here. It was a combination that worked really well and continues to work really well, so I'm going to go ahead and pair these two together. So I'm going to apply the Luxe Cream Gel all the way through my head and do my brush styling with that to get my clumping and definition going. And then after I have applied this throughout my entire head, then I'll put in each of the mousses. And as you can see, I already have my hair sectioned, so I'm just going to go ahead and start off with a little bit of the cream gel, which looks more like a gel than an actual cream. And normally I don't define my hair with gels. I find that they tend to kind of create a little bit of stringiness that way, and I prefer to use creams, but because this is kind of more of a cream gel, it does work pretty well for defining my hair. So I'm just going to go ahead and run that through my hair and then brush it through for even distribution. There's a lot of brushing that goes on. And then I just go through and brush section by section. And I'll do this all the way around with the bottom section, then I do it all the way around here, and then the top, and I'm always pulling the brush out 90 degrees from my head to keep my hair from getting stuck to my head. And when I get to the top, 90 degrees, so I pull it straight up. And that helps give a little bit of lift on the top of my head so that I don't have completely flat roots. That's all applied and everything is looking good so far. I've got some defined clumped curls going on and no frizz so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the mousse, give it a good shake. And then I just kind of glaze the mousse on over the top and just to distribute it, and then I start kind of scrunching it in. And this mousse is really thick and really creamy. And I actually really like that texture. It just makes it a little bit harder to distribute it throughout the hair, but not too bad. And I just keep doing the same thing until I have applied the entire blob of mousse. Or dropped it all on the floor. Whichever. And now I'm going to apply this one the same way that I applied the first one. This one is also kind of creamy, but not as dense and creamy as the other one. It's got a little bit more kind of airiness to it and distributes a lot easier because of that. So both of the mousses are in, and there's definitely a difference in how it feels in my hair wet, so it'll be interesting to see what it feels like when my hair is dry and how everything looks in comparison to each other. So I'm gonna go ahead and diffuse, and then I'll be back and I'll show you the results. I'm back and my hair is completely dried, and here is what we're looking like, and both sides are looking pretty good. I have some nice curl definition and some bounce and shine, and the frizz is pretty minimal on both sides. I don't really notice too much of a difference, and there's no cast on either side, so there's nothing really to scrunch out. But I am gonna apply my Verb Ghost Oil like I typically do, so I'm gonna go ahead and do one pump. I'm just going to smooth it over the top, and then scrunch it in to the ends and just kind of break up some of these curl clumps a little bit and fluff everything up, even though there's nothing as far as a cast to scrunch out. Like I said, everything is really soft. And these are the scrunched and fluffed results, and even though it did cause a tiny bit more frizz to develop, everything is still looking really good, and my hair is still looking really nice and defined. Everything feels lightweight and fluffy and really soft. I love how soft these mousses are leaving my hair. Ever since I've tried the Bond Repair Mousse, I've always loved how it leaves my hair feeling, and this one does the same thing. As far as volume, I feel like they both kind of gave me about the same amount of volume, and my hair is longer than when I did my review video for the Bond Repair Mousse. So it's not going to be as voluminous as it was then because it's getting really long and really heavy, but I do feel like I have some decent volume out of both sides considering the extra length and weight to my hair, but we will see how everything holds up on days 2 and days 3. So in looking at the ingredients in both of these mousses, both of them contain glycerin. However, in this one, it's higher on the list. I think it's like the 3rd or 4th one listed. And then on this one, it's much further down the list. This one contains protein, this one does not, but there's not coconut oil in either of these. So if you're someone who doesn't get along very well with coconut oil, that's not going to be a problem with either one of these. So that is it for today, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Good morning, and here's what we're looking like on day 2. And as you can see, I have quite a bit more frizz. And as I'm looking at it, I don't see that one side has more frizz than the other. It looks to me to be pretty much about the same and mostly just on the surface of my hair. And this is pretty typical for day 2. I typically have some sort of frizz like that. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little bit more, kind of depends on humidity levels and products used. But other than that, I think both sides are looking pretty good with curls. I don't have a whole lot of smashed down or stretched out curls or anything like that. My ends are looking pretty raggedy on both sides, but that has more to do with the fact that I am really needing a haircut and not so much to do with the products. So everything is looking good as it is, and this is just my hair out of the bonnet and letting it settle for a little bit. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a little bit of a shake and fluff it up and see what kind of volume we can get out of this. As you can see, that gave me a bit more volume on both sides and didn't really give me a whole lot more frizz, so that's really good. And I still can't really tell too much of a difference between the two sides. I think that the amount of volume I have is pretty similar on both sides, and I feel like, you know, like I said before, my curl definition and the integrity of my curls is still pretty much intact. I just don't see a whole lot of difference between the two as far as which side might be more stretched out or which side is holding better. I think they have a pretty similar amount of hold. They look like they have a similar amount of volume, similar amount of frizz. So as of right now, I really can't tell too much of a difference between the two. They both feel really good. I'm really happy with both sides, and it'll be interesting to see how everything looks tomorrow on day 3. So I am going to say goodbye for today, and I'll see you tomorrow. So it is the morning of day 3, and both sides are looking a little rough. However, it's not looking that bad considering that I woke up this morning and my bonnet was mostly off my head. That doesn't usually happen, but occasionally it does, and this is what happens when my hair has only been partially protected throughout the night. So anyway, this is not that bad considering I still have some nicely formed curls, and I have not a whole lot more frizz than what I did yesterday. This is looking very similar to my day 2 frizz, and I still have some curls over here And both sides are looking really similar yet again, as far as frizz and as far as the curls that are still here. And yes, there's some stretched out and smashed curls, but like I said, with the bonnet kind of sliding off, I'm not really surprised. And also, I would still use hairspray with both of these mousses. They hold up really well on their own, and when I'm doing reviews or testing new products, I don't use hairspray in my hair because I don't want to skew the results. I want to see what kind of hold they have on their own. But whenever I'm not doing reviews or specific videos for the channel, I do always use hairspray, and I spray it in just before I diffuse, no matter what products that I use. There's very few products that I don't use hairspray with, just because I really like the results and longevity I get when I use the hairspray. So I would use hairspray with both of these. Also with both of these, I would, even though I like them with the Luxe Cream Gel from Alterna, and I did use that here for consistency because that's what I used in my original review of this mousse here. But I really would like to try both of these gels with some other styling products, with different creams or with other gels. I do like layering mousses over the top of gels. A lot of times I really like to use, about 3 stylers. So I might do a cream, a gel, a mousse, then I finish it up with the hairspray, so 4 stylers. So as I said, I would really like to play around with these and try these with a bunch of other things. And I do still really love this, even though I think this worked a lot better on my hair when it was shorter. I do still like it even though my hair is longer. I like the fact that my hair feels really good, and it feels really good on both sides. My hair doesn't feel dry. It still feels nice and moisturized, but it doesn't feel over moisturized. Both of them are great. I really don't see a huge difference in between either one of them as far as volume goes, as far as hold goes, or as far as how my hair feels. They both feel really good. They look really good. Well, they did before my bonnet slid off, but I think they're both equally good mousses. So what it's gonna come down to is, if you have an issue with glycerin, since it's further down on the list for this one might be better for you than this one because it's higher up over here. And then this one has more protein, so if you have hair that really loves protein, you might want to try this. This has a much creamier texture. This one, because of its creaminess, could potentially be a little too heavy for the finest and most easily weighed down of hair. However, I still don't think it'll weigh it down all that much, but it would more so than this one. So if you're trying to decide between either one of these, those are just a couple of things to think about. But other than that, they're both excellent quality. I do really like them. I think they're comparable with hold, with volume, and they're just overall great mousses, and I am looking forward to continuing to use both of these. Hopefully you found this comparison helpful. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.